Your WXXV News 25 forecast first, powered by Mississippi Power.
Listen, it's just cold out there, folks. Temperatures fall through the 20s into the teens. Yes, teens out the door tomorrow morning, feeling like the single digits. Be very mindful of 4 Ps and also bundle up if you're heading out the door. But by the time you get towards noon, temperatures do warm above the freezing mark. That's forecast first. WXXV News 25 starts right now.
I'm WXXV Sports Director Jevan McCoskey, and coming up in sports, we hear from one Pelicans player following their loss to the Dallas Mavericks.
Plus, coming up on News 25, schools across the coast are set to reopen tomorrow. Meanwhile, some are still closing.
And a meeting in Ocean Springs to set the new date for urban renewal.
Your news live right now. WXXV News 25.
Good evening and welcome to News 25 at 10. I'm Buhring.
And I'm Trey Tonnessen.
New tonight at 10, the Ocean Springs Board of Aldermen set a public hearing date for the new urban renewal plan.
Let's take a look at City Hall, where the meeting was held earlier tonight. The new date is now set for February 22nd at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Ocean Springs Community Center. This plan will allow for the development of several large parcels near downtown.
The new urban renewal map has drawn controversy from citizens who claim the site contains high levels of toxic chemicals. Last Saturday, a community meeting was also held by concerned citizens and attended by many elected officials to discuss alternative visions for the site's future.
Many presentations occurred discussing controversies and alleged pollution and environmental concerns, also ability to turn the area into a green space.
Well, the Biloxi City Council is still amending ordinances following the shooting that took place during Black Spring Break in 2023.
When this happened, it began a conversation around how many people and what kind of special events the city can actually handle. The council has decided to amend the Biloxi Land Development Ordinance as it pertains to recreational vehicles, vehicle parks, RVs, and other vehicles or equipment for special events.
A large part of the issue is the overpopulation of one area. The council is considering charging a fee for each RV or per lot, as well as establishing a maximum number of vehicles that can be on each parcel of land.
Our goal is to make sure economic development, tourism, and these special events, people walk away with a great, safe experience, and they want to come back year after year and tell all their friends that Biloxi is a great place to come.
The City Council is still brainstorming ideas and has not officially amended the ordinance.
Trooper Cal Robertson with the Mississippi Highway Patrol confirmed a car wrecked into the back of an MHP cruiser in Biloxi this morning. The images are on your screen right now. The two cars were driving west when the cruiser slowed down and was rear-ended. No injuries were reported. Trooper Robertson came by the WXXV studio yesterday with tips to stay safe on the roads if they're icy.
If the roads do get to that point where they're iced up or they get some kind of accumulation, we're going to work closely with our media partners to get that information out as quickly as possible. But if you don't have to be out driving, if it gets to that point, you don't have to be out driving, don't drive. The best thing to do is just have your speed reduced. Don't do any sudden movements with your car. Don't jerk on your steering wheel. Don't slam on your brakes, and just go across the ice.
And speaking of icy conditions, I'm curious to know if my car is going to be iced over tomorrow.
Yeah, I know one guy that's pretty dadgum accurate with his forecast, and he's over at the weather wall right now. Meteorologist Jeff Vorick.
Oh man, Trey, you're going to butter me up a little too much here tonight. But hey, here's a review from downtown Gulfport provided by Hancock Whitney. 27 degrees at the moment. Light north-northwesterly winds are making it feel like 20 degrees. It's a cold one. And the answer, Lori's question, your car won't have problems, but you may have some surfaces, slick spots on a stairwell outdoors, maybe parking lots, driveways, things like that. They may have some refreezing issues, so bear that in mind. But a hard freeze warning is in effect for the whole area tonight. That's because of the 4 Ps: plants, pipes, people, pets. Be mindful of all 4. Wind chill advisories also in effect due to wind chills in the single digits likely through the day tomorrow. Backyard Paradise Pools is our hometown, or spotlighting Wiggins as our hometown forecast tonight. 15 degrees. Bottom line, bundle up.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, it's important to protect those plants, especially with the temperatures dropping overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. Pine Hills Nursery in Pass Christian has provided tips for protecting your plants during cold temperatures. Potted plants are much more susceptible to cold than in-ground plants due to more exposure, therefore likely getting damaged. It is important to move those potted plants indoors to avoid cold damage. Any plants you cannot relocate, you should cover with a blanket or sheet and a layer of plastic. Heat lamps can also be used to protect plants from the cold. It is important to keep it from touching plants or covers. It is best to uncover these plants once temperatures reach above freezing and plan ahead to cover them back up if temperatures drop again overnight.
Watering plants can also boost insulation for the roots during a freeze. Watering those plants after a freeze is important since the ground may still be frozen. And lastly, it is encouraged to wait until any freezing temperature threats pass before trimming and pruning any dead or damaged plants. This usually happens in late February. Well, it's a dangerous condition that can happen quickly when a person is exposed to extremely cold weather. Frostbite causes a loss of feeling and color in areas that are affected and can cause permanent damage.
Because the extremities get numb, many people may not even know it's happening. Mandy Gaither has more on how to prevent, spot, and treat frostbite.
In frigid cold, it can happen within minutes.
Unfortunately, frostbite is a real concern.
Emergency physician Mark Conroy with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says the parts of our bodies that are farthest away from the core are most vulnerable to frostbite, including ears, nose, fingers, and toes.
By the time you hit true frostbite, when you're damaging the tissues of your body, things are typically numb, so you don't necessarily feel them.
That's why you need to know the signs, including a white or grayish yellow skin area, skin that feels unusually firm or waxy, and numbness. If any of these symptoms are present, Conroy says to get out of the cold right away, shed wet clothing, and start to slowly rewarm the body with dry blankets and lukewarm water.
You don't want to, go too close to a fire because some of the ways that we can rewarm ourselves can actually hurt us further.
You can also help prevent frostbite by wearing waterproof clothing and footwear. Wear gloves and keep other extremities like ears and your nose covered as well. And Taylor says not to drink alcohol.
You might be suffering from the cold more than you realize if you've had something to drink before heading outside.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health experts say to also be aware of hypothermia, which is a dangerous condition caused by prolonged exposures to frigid temperatures.
Yeah, and warning signs include confusion and slurred speech. A person who develops hypothermia needs immediate medical attention. Well, as temperatures have dropped drastically in the past 24 hours.
Cold weather shelters are doing their best to provide resources to the unhoused. The Salvation Army's Center of Hope opened its doors for the first time this year. The center says it saw less than 20 people last night, but over in D'Iberville, the Kenny Fournier Multipurpose Center saw 50 guests.
The Center of Hope says it expects to see more occupants tonight. The center, which has a capacity of a little over 45 occupants, says it will expand if needed. Major Jerry Friday says the cold weather shelter is monitoring the weather closely in the coming days.
We're definitely open tonight, and anytime it's going to be 35 degrees or below, we will open. So we anticipate being open through the weekend, but we'll play it by ear day by day. And we need volunteers. So if anyone would like to help, they can certainly reach out. We just want to make sure that everybody is safe and that everybody is cared for.
The shelter operates from 6 p.m. until 7 a.m. The center says more resources are needed for guests. If you're interested in being a volunteer at the center, call the number on your screen.
As the temperature drops again tonight, Mississippi Power is enacting its winter weather plan.
The organization starts prepping for winter weather long before the wind chill hits. Starting in October, Mississippi Power starts wrapping equipment and pipes that could be exposed to the elements. Then Mississippi Power will check each power plant to make sure it has the resources needed to serve the community during severe weather.
When weather poses a risk to power, employees will stay at the plant so they can stay safe while also being ready to act if necessary. It may seem a little extreme, but preparing in advance helps keep the heat on.
That's the whole point of being proactive. I mean, it's year round. You know, our planning is whether it's getting ready for storm season in the summer or, you know, winter weather season, you know, here at this time of year, we're always thinking about the next events and how do we be prepared ahead of time.
For tips on how to keep the heat in if the power does go out, you can visit MississippiPower.com/ways to save. Well, schools across the coast are announcing hours for tomorrow, January 17th.
Schools canceled classes today due to cold weather. Biloxi Public Schools, the Moss Point School District, Pass Christian School District, and Our Lady Academy will begin classes at their normally scheduled times. MGCCC will also return to normal operations tomorrow.
Hancock County School District is starting 1 hour later than normal tomorrow. The elementary school starts at 8:30, the middle school starts at 9:15, and the high school starts at 9:10. George County School District will be closed tomorrow for students and school staff. Head to our website, WXXV25.com, to check when more schools will release their schedules. Well, the water is back on in Waveland after a citywide water outage this morning.
However, a boil water notice has been issued. Mayor Jay Trapani tells us public works crews found a frozen transducer on the elevated water tower off of Highway 90, and because of that, the pumps were not able to run, causing the water outage. While water service has been restored, the city is under a boil water notice today and tomorrow due to the drop in pressure. And the Mississippi Aquarium is now hosting Mardi Gras bead recycling. After you join in on the Mardi Gras fun, the Mississippi Aquarium is asking for you to bring your beads and unwanted throws for recycling. The drop-off locations are at the MSAQ Ticketing Plaza in a bin and the MSAQ Security on 22nd Avenue on the northwest end of the campus. The recycling runs through March 31st. Coming up, Jeff will have a look at the weather and a house divided like no other. More on these two brothers going viral. And a special session announced for the second largest economic development project in the state.
Coming up in sports, we take a look at one Biloxi Shucker event happening at the end of the month.
And before we head to break, it's time for our daily poll. Are there enough grocery store chains in South Mississippi? No has been leading all day long.
Folks want their groceries.
We need more chains, apparently.
So if you're a CEO watching this, here you
Yeah,
go.
here you go.
Well, but if you feel like there are enough or don't, you can vote by going to our website, WXXV25.com, and clicking on the WXXV vote link in the news drop-down menu, or just use that QR code right there on your screen.
You're watching WXXV News 25 with Lori, Trey, Jeff, and Jevan. WXXV News 25. And now, your weather authority.
Cold.
So cold.
It is unbelievably cold.
Lori's frozen over here, goosebumps, everything.
And that says something with how warm the studio normally is. Lori is cold, everybody.
Yeah, breaking news, Lori Buhring's cold. She's waiting for her cats to join her later. But anyway, here's what you have from Biloxi. Yeah, she's agreeing with me too. Hey, Jevan Ford to the top of the Golden Nugget. First of all, nice view of the moon. If only it was so nice outside, because I don't really have good news for you. It is cold. 28, feeling like 21. Wind chills to the teens inland, and yeah, not that great. This is not going to be a fun night for a lot of us, unfortunately. A hard freeze warning is in effect. Now, the thing to note about that hard freeze warning, 4 Ps. Bring the pets in, yes. The plants as well. Protect your pipes. If you're in a mobile home community or apartment community and they're telling you to run your pipes at a drip, or your faucets at a drip rather, do that. And also check on neighbors. Some people may have elevated homes. All that cold air gets underneath there and it can cause a problem. Wind chill advisory in effect as well. Feeling like the single digits, just bundle up, cover exposed skin if at all possible. Hat and gloves, hey, break them out about once or twice a year down here. It will be a good thing to have, that is for sure. 16 degrees tonight, just downright cold bottom line, but feeling like the single digits, that's dangerous for our area. Light northerly winds continue, 8 to 12 mile per hour gusts, but winds should be backing off. They'll be lighter tomorrow. They'll also shift to a southeasterly direction, 47 degrees. Cold start and, well, a cold afternoon by our standards down here, but 47 is going to feel a lot better than the 30s we were seeing earlier today. Now look at Mississippi Power Doppler. It is completely dry at the moment. Off to our west is high pressure. That's what's bringing in the strong northerly winds in the wake of the cold front. That's what's making for this environment of very cold air being pulled into our region. And that's what's going to continue for the next day and a half or so until this high pressure moves to its east, start to get that southerly flow in, but also a weak storm system is going to be moving in, and that's going to increase our cloud coverage and even bring in those rain chances, about 30% or so at times on your Thursday. Very light rain in nature. This is not going to be impactful, and maybe some wet spots on the roads. Here's the good news. First of all, cold front's going to lag well behind. And then the second thing, not dealing with wintry precip at all, and you're not going to have temperatures below freezing at all on Friday morning. So that's the good news. That cold front moves through. But we got to get through the first part, and that's tonight. Temperatures in the teens will feel like the single digits. I do apologize, it's a little difficult to read if you're at home on your TV screen. Temperatures tomorrow morning, though. This is 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe when I might be getting out of bed and actually doing something with my life. I may not, because it will be feeling like 20 degrees. As we get into the afternoon, though, temperatures start to get a little bit better. I don't necessarily agree with this model. I think we're going to achieve those mid and upper 40s across the area, but it gets cold again tomorrow night. Wind chill factor, not as big of a deal, but it still will be cold. So remember, tomorrow night's going to be cold as well. The next several days, though, just downright cold, especially tonight into tomorrow morning. 47 by the afternoon tomorrow, though. 30% chance of rain Thursday. Another shot of cold air by this weekend. But Lori and Trey, summary, cold.
Burr.
Wow, Jeff, a lot of surface analysis
Oh
needed
my
this
gosh.
week.
Yeah, cold fronts, high pressures, wind, yeah, you name it, man.
Ooh, man, thank goodness Jeff's got that taken care of, but we will have more news for you after the break.
Oh, good. Do it. No, Charlene, do it when I come up for the C flat or D black one. That'd be so good. And then Jevan will be rolling his eyes.
All right, let's hop in the time machine. We can go back to high school. Okay. All right, all three of us. What's the sport that you played or that you would have wanted to play that you could have maybe gotten to do in college as well? What would you have committed to play college in?
Going to the gridiron.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Playing some football?
It's a toss-up between basketball and volleyball.
Volleyball? That would have been my mom's answer. My answer would be basketball. So, but we do have a player in the local area that just made his decision today to play on the gridiron, just like you would have. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and jump into sports.
WXXV Sports.
Hello and welcome to sports. I'm Jevan McCoskey. We kick things off with some news out of the New Orleans Saints organization and the coaching staff. The New Orleans Saints have fired offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael Jr. along with senior offensive assistant Bob Bicknell and receivers coach Cody Burns. Following the decision, New Orleans Saints head coach Dennis Allen said, quote, "These types of decisions are never easy to come to, but are necessary as we move forward," end quote. Carmichael had spent the last 18 seasons with the Black and Gold when he was hired by then rookie head coach Sean Payton as a quarterbacks coach. Let's take a look at the 2023 regular season stats for the Saints, and they might shock you. New Orleans averaged just under 340 yards of offense per game, ranking 14th in the NFL. They struggled all year in the red zone, and although they were better in the final 5 games of the season, they converted just under 54% of their opportunities, ranking 18th in the league. Despite their red zone struggles, the Saints did manage to have a top 10 offense in the NFL, averaging 23.6 points per game. Get this, they were the only team inside the top 10 to not make the playoffs. It's not a very good stat to have. It's unclear who the Saints will look to fill these positions, but look for them to make an announcement sooner rather than later. In other New Orleans Saints news, former Saints player Ronald Powell has passed away at the age of 32. The New Orleans Saints selected Powell out of Florida in the 5th round of the 2014 NFL Draft. He played in 14 games as a rookie for the Saints, but was placed on injured reserve at the beginning of the 2015 season and later was waived. Out of high school, Powell was the #1 overall recruit ranked by Rivals.com. He finished his professional career with the Orlando Apollos in the Alliance of American Football League before it ceased operations in 2019. His cause of death has not been released. Sticking with football, but over to the high school and college game, we have another local student athlete who's made his decision on where he will play college ball. Picayune's own Tonnessen announced on X Tuesday that he will continue his academic and football career at Pearl River. Tyson helped Picayune to a 10-3 record last season while earning himself the opportunity to compete in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star Game. Congratulations to Amarion and best of luck in the next steps of your journey. The New Orleans Pelicans are coming off a loss to a very good Dallas Mavericks team on the road. But get this, Dallas didn't have their best player, Luka Doncic. Instead, it was Kyrie Irving and Tim Hardaway Jr. who shined against the Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans were handed a loss by the Dallas Mavericks on Monday despite a 30-point performance from Zion Williamson and 5 other players scoring in double figures for the Pelicans. But it was not enough to overcome the game-high 42 points from Kyrie Irving and the 41 points from Tim Hardaway Jr., including 9 threes. After the game, Zion Williamson spoke on what went wrong for the Pelicans on the road and where his team stands as of today.
I feel like we did okay executing. I think it just came down to free throws and we allowing second chance points. I feel like we're a great team now, but to think that we can be even better, I think that's big for us.
The next Pelicans game is Wednesday night back in New Orleans against the Charlotte Hornets. The Biloxi Shuckers will host their annual job fair at the ballpark on Tuesday, January 23rd from 4:30 to 6:30. Let's take a look at some of the details. Multiple game day positions are open throughout the ballpark, and those who attend will be able to apply and interview for positions. A few of the open positions include ushers, ticket takers and sellers, access control, camera operators, and press box production, among many other positions. If you have any questions regarding the positions or the job fair itself, you can contact the Shuckers with the number on your screen or by emailing info@biloxishuckers.com.
And now, the play of the brought to you by Cannon Motors of Mississippi.
WXXV's play of the day is the announcement of the long-awaited NCAA football game getting its release date. The video game that so many sports fans like myself have been waiting years for has finally been given a release date of July 12th, 2024 per Dave Waters. An exciting day for video gamers and college football fans alike. Before we go to break, it's time for our Sports Daily poll. What 2 teams do you think make up the best college 58% to Duke and North Carolina. No surprise there. Louisville and Kentucky sitting second place with 28%, while Indiana and Purdue 14%. That might just be my vote because I'm a big Indiana fan. But if you don't see your team on the list, be sure to let us know by commenting on our sports poll on Facebook. You can vote by going to our website, WXXV25.com, and clicking on the WXXV vote link in the news drop-down menu. Click sports, or you can just go ahead and scan the QR code you see on your screen now. No.
No, I'm not going to do it. We should probably do it. I think Friday night would be a good time to do it. 10 o'clock, B block. Yeah. Let's do it Friday. Oh, wait, no, you're not here, are you? Oh, okay, I'm making sure. Oh, yeah. Never mind. My day's off. All right, cool. Let's do it then. Yeah.
Bond.
We'll figure it
Bond.
out. Hopefully, Coach ain't watching.
Yeah. He sold out for a Lamborghini.
Who did?
Isaiah Bond from Alabama.
And now, your Weather Authority. Brought to you by Southern Charm Furniture, where quality and design matter.
All right, folks, it's downright cold, and for the kids out the bus stop tomorrow, your St. Patrick Catholic High School, 18 degrees out the door tomorrow morning. Downright cold, let's just be honest with you about that. A little bit better in the afternoon. Layers will be able to be shed at 47 degrees. Hard freeze warning remains in place tonight. Remember the 4 Ps. Protect those pipes, bring in the pets and plants, and also check on your neighbors. Protect people, that's the 4th P right there. On the water, a small craft advisory is in effect until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, but your Mississippi Power extended forecast, we have to wait all the way until next week for some nicer weather. 16 degrees tonight, 47 by the afternoon tomorrow, but be very careful out the door tomorrow morning. Could have a few slick spots, not necessarily a road issue, but say around your house, talking about driveways, stairwells, outdoors, things like that. Just be mindful of that. 30% chance of rain on Thursday. A reinforcing shot of colder air arrives this weekend with another potentially more hard freeze conditions in the area. By next week, above average temperatures return to the forecast.
Governor Tate Reeves announced he's calling a special session to finalize the second largest economic development project in Mississippi history.
The economic development also represents the largest payroll commitment of any major project in state history. The project will include a $1.9 billion corporate capital investment and create 2,000 jobs. The project involves the production and delivery of electric battery cells for use in commercial, automotive, and industrial application space.
Governor Reeves called a special session to begin on Thursday, January 18th at 9:30 a.m. The special session could last as little as 1 day. Stick around. We'll be right back after this quick break. Well, there's nothing like a football house divided, no matter what the age of those involved.
I definitely agree with that. Take a look at these two little guys. The Cowboys fan is obviously upset as his brother's in the Packers jersey and shouts with joy.
As the mom explains, the family is from the Wisconsin Dells and moved to Texas at a very impressionable age for her older son.
Does anybody have this in their family? Any sort of situation?
We're all Colts fans, but I don't know. That'd be something when they're both 15, 16 years old. They're gonna say, "Look at this video of us when we were younger. look, I got one on you. I got one on you." That's I couldn't. I don't know what I would do if my older brother, younger brother was a different fan.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Pack, go.
I would just love to know because it looks like the parents, I'm assuming these are the parents right there, looks like they're Packers fans. Yeah, and so I guess the boy crying, who's a Cowboys fan, was just kind of like, no, I don't want to be a.
Yeah, you always get a random fan. You know, there's always somebody I'm sure there's somebody here in Mississippi, obviously, who's a great Cowboys fan. It just doesn't make sense.
I happen to know one. He's my boss.
Okay, see, exactly. See, and the thing is, back home in Indiana, there's Cowboy fans too. I had a bunch of friends who looked just like that young kid who sat and cried in the laps of their parents, and it's fandom of sports can make you do some crazy things. I saw Detroit Lions fans crying this weekend. Cowboys kids crying this weekend.
You know what being a Cowboys fan at a young age will do to you, though? It'll make you get your hopes up for things that are supposed to happen.
Just to get let down.
Just to get let down right before the big moment.
This was supposed to be their year, Trey.
Just like every year.
Trey calling people out.
Yeah. But hey, everybody looks to have a fan moment like that Packers shirt too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on News 25. We'll see you back here in the morning.